Hello everyone, this is G and I'm back with the second video of the day. So I just want to briefly share my thoughts on the reveal of the Batsuit, or rather another reveal of it. The first reveal was trying to get centered, there we go. But anyway, the first reveal was of the trailer with the red light. It focused on the very, I guess you could say, industrial or mechanized bat symbol on the chest, and I did a video about that. So this is the one following that up. I believe it's on-set photos. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I understand that this is on set. It's not a guarantee by any means that this is how the Batsuit will look in the film itself, right? It could still be very much a prototype. The costume looks like, again, that is sort of like a work in progress. For example, there was no cape, and we all know Batman always has a cape. So it could certainly be that this is just a prototype, or just sort of like something they're working with to see how it works, see how it fits, how it moves. And it could certainly change in time. I understand that. I'm not saying that this is the definitive Batsuit. We will only see the definitive Batsuit in the film itself. But that being said, these on-set photos do give us an idea of what the Batsuit could possibly look like in the film proper. And to borrow a phrase from Lindsey Ellis, thanks, I hate it. Now, at the risk of being, well, the middle-aged grump that I am, let me just briefly explain why I'm not really feeling this Batsuit. And it's mainly because, at least to me, it's mainly because it's too armored. It looks too heavy. I'm looking at it, and the first thing I think is, how is Batman gonna fight in this? And if you want to bring the real world into it, how is Robert Pattinson and how is his stuntman, right, going to move and pull off all these stunts and these fight scenes in this outfit? That's the question. How are they going to do the stunt work? How are they going to do the fight scenes? Because here's the thing about the Batsuit, at least from what I've heard. I can't say this is true for every Batsuit, but I do remember hearing that the Batsuit for the 1989 film in which Michael Keaton played Batman, that suit was rubber, and it was like 50 pounds, right? So just imagine just how stifling wearing that outfit was for both the actor and his stuntman. And if you look back at that film, as much as I love that film, you can see how incredibly stiff the movements are, whether it be scenes like him fighting, or whether it be scenes like simple stuff like, shooting the bat grapple gun, right, or using a batarang or something, right? Just very stiff, almost robotic movements, because you could hardly move in the suit. Now, hopefully, I would hope that, especially with the popularity of superhero films now, that they've addressed some of that, right? But to my knowledge, in general, these costumes are actually quite difficult for the actors and actresses and their stunt people to actually move in, because either they're incredibly tight, like you see, for example, with Black Widow, right? Or they're, in the case of Batman, very heavy. So just looking at this, I'm like, how are they going to move? How are they going to do anything in this outfit? And then from a purely visual perspective, to me, the costume looks more like something that you would see a person on the SWAT team wear, or in the military, or paramilitary type thing. It looks like that type of getup. When I look at it, I think, oh, so there's like a Batman themed SWAT gear out. That's what it comes across to me. And if Batman were a character like, say, the Punisher, where he had some sort of like military or law enforcement training or background, I could perhaps understand that. Even if it were, say, Batwoman, I could understand that, because she was for a very brief period in the military. So I can understand that type of look with characters like them. But that's not Batman. The whole thing about Batman from a visual perspective is, and again, just put aside for a moment all the crazy fights and the physical stunts he does, like, tightrope walking across wires that will easily give under his weight and everything like that. But basically, he's a ninja, right? He's a ninja in a funny costume, right? And his principal way of fighting crime, of actually physically interacting with the criminal element, is with his hands and his fists and his feet and his brain, right? He's a brawler. He's a fighter. He doesn't do like the law enforcement or military thing where you have a rifle and you breach a door or you kick the door down and you secure an area that way, right? He doesn't do that. He beats the tar out of people with his fist, right? And you need to be able to move to do that type of work, right? To be able to fight effectively hand to hand, you need to be able to move. It's just that simple, right? Now, I'm not saying that certain parts of the costume, like say the cape or the cowl, aren't heavy. They no doubt are. But not every single part of the costume can be heavy, you know what I mean? Because again, how will you fight in that? He doesn't carry, well, I guess he's in a sense carries guns, but it's stunt guns, like the one that shoots a grappling hook and all that, right? He doesn't fight crime the way, law enforcement or military do. It's a very, on the streets brawler type of approach. So I really don't know how, visually speaking, they're going to get that across with such an armored costume. And if I have to give preferences, I mean, if I had to choose between, say, Ben Affleck's Bat costume and this one, I would go with the Affleck one because that actually looks like you could fight in it. And it looks closer to the comics depiction. Now, I wasn't too happy with the shades of gray. I thought it was way too gray. I wish there had been a little more division in the colors. And that bat symbol looked awful, in my opinion. But at least when it came to like the visual design, it didn't look overly cumbersome. I guess it's the best way that I can put it. While this like armor on top of armor look just looks, well, incredibly heavy. It doesn't exactly say Batman to me. It says more inspired by Batman than actually Batman. I will say this much though, that if DC ever decides to do a movie about the Authority, for those who don't know, the Authority is a comic book duo of Apollo and Midnighter. They originally started back in the late 90s in Wildstorm, I think it was. I think the original comic was by Wildstorm, was called Stormwatch, and then eventually DC bought it, and then like the two standout characters were Midnighter and Apollo. So if they ever want to do that, and for those who don't know, Midnighter and Apollo are basically supposed to be Superman and Batman. Apollo is Superman, Midnighter is Batman, and they're gay, and they're married. So there you go. But if they ever want to do an Authority film, and they want to introduce Midnighter and Apollo, which I think actually would be interesting, introducing two characters that are new, but have similarities to well-known established characters that people can sort of identify and relate to, I think that'd be great. But my point being is that the costume that they're showing is a great Midnighter costume. All you gotta do is just shave off the ears and give him a leather jacket, and you got Midnighter right there. Speaking of which, I hate those ears. I wanted tall, spiky ears. No spikes. Just small and stubby. I'm sad. But anyway, that's the video. Let me know what you think, and I will see you all on the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.